just
Hi,
give me a,
Kalpana.
yeah, just give me a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Um, welcome everyone to one more edition of Talking Films Online. Today we are discussing, well, we are discussing two versions of a film, Oru Kuprasiddha Payyan in Malayalam, and its Telugu version called Vyuham. Sridhar suggested Vyuham for us, we thought we will watch the Telugu version, but since the Telugu version was not available to people who are not AHA subscribers, some of us would have watched, I think, the Malayalam version. I think, after the last Hindi film that we watched, which was a popular film, which one was that? I forget the name. This is the only second popular kind of film that we are
Ram,
watching.
Ram Leela.
Yeah, Ram Leela. This is the second popular film I think that we are watching, and there is an echo. Sandeep, you have to mute yourself, otherwise there is an echo. Okay, yeah. The film, as I said, was suggested to us by Sridhar. Dr. Sridhar M teaches history at TIS Tuljapur campus. He insists that I should introduce him just with this. And over to you now, Sridhar, for discussing Vyuham Oruku Prasiddha Payyan. And welcome all who have joined in today for the discussion.
Thank you, Nicola, for fixing me. Uh, so, if you invite me, if you ask me twice now, I cannot resist. Weakness of mine. So, I first thought that pick up a book and discuss about it, then more comfortable, my comfort zone. But this I accidentally come across and later realized it's a originally Malayalam movie. And also it's based on a real life incident. Uh, when the plot is the plot of the movie and the real life event was same. In fact, the Jayesh, whose life story it is, which happened in 2014, was contacted by the newsman and inquired him, and it was whatever is projected in the movie. Same was his story, his experience. Only one difference was the advocate who argued his case was a man, not a woman. Only except that everything else is closer to the truth. And he also says that the girl who has loved him actually ditched him. So I decided not to marry. And then the about the prosecution lawyer, they say that is very senior lawyer and also uh, unlike he's not villainous like the movie. So and the Anil original the advocate of this case, who witnessed, who attended, who is a regular attendee of the court proceedings, and he come across this case, and even the Jayesh undergone narcotic test to prove that he has not done this crime. He is not involved in the murder. So they pinned down and they tortured him for a year. All those events are true. So most of his life story also same. See, The original name of the person who was murdered was Sundariyamma. In Telugu version, we have a different name. What is that name? So, Chamundeshwari. Even in the Malayalam version, Chamundeshwari. And most of the events are same. Whatever happened in his life, it was reported by a newspaper news investigator, and the Jeevan Job Thomas actually provided script to this movie, was consulted by the director Madhupal, and they have done the movie. So what? I'm not a film expert, and I do not know the nuts and bolts of film theory, but I'm a film goer generally. I have no discrimination in watching movies, so this has attracted me for couple of reasons, actually multiple reasons. When I first watched this movie, I skipped through the titles. I skipped through the heroic attempt of fighting with the he buffalo. All those cinematic things. So I skipped, and the even song I skipped. So, and I felt that it's actually a Telugu movie. And I wondered, Telugu industry became very sensitive. Not only how the director and the team, but also accepted this movie. And because it is the Telugu OTT, it's actually their big hold on the industry as such. That family, Allu family. So I wondered, see, that OTT also interesting. They are bringing really interesting movies and web series into the this over the top, no? The OTT. So coming to the picture, so why it attracted me is, one is this, first provoked me, is Telugu industry is becoming sensible, not dramatizing things, or not putting their own ideology into it. Rather, this movie presents multiple access the access points. One is about how an Arfana or a single we might have had movies on single women, but single men, and when they are Arfan, and when they how they live like, or what they undergo in the society at large when they are not living a routine life like others. So that also the director has shown that how all those are part and parcel in his character. How this Ajay became a introvert. So in the early, very beginning scenes, in a ritual to they were sacrificing a bullock, and by seeing that the another bullock relieves itself and jumps on the people and creates havoc, and everyone is running away, and this boy comes to rescue and fights, undergoes and stops it, and even he is the man who has done that, stopping that enraged animal. But once it was caught, people ignore him and go off. And then in the next scene, they show that he is advancing towards a girl, and that girl warning him. and that also becomes a material, and he goes more and more introvert. And I don't know the actor Thibaut, this hero also, but he performed really well, I think. So those things I did not have any trouble in watching. So they must be best. And it's also one, this movie also I realized on Wikipedia that the actress Nimisha, who acted as a advocate for the victim, or Jayesh, or the hero, the filmic character Ajay, she won the Best Actress award also for the 2018. And one is how a text or a literary production or the real life event is presented. Those many things, many times it won't convince us. But this movie somehow I found really well taken, without much exaggeration. And so uh, uh, other things that attracted me is we hear about judgments, courts, cases, but we hardly hear about court trial. See, there are recent releases, some nail polish and the other movies which have court trial. What happens within a courtroom? What happens within the courtroom? We have many other movies in Telugu also, court trials, where they try to show the hero image. But here, the new advocate who is a regular attendee of the court, and who never gets a case to handle. And when she was interested in this court case, the judge, because of the repeated requests of this Ajay, judge appoints as an advocate for the Ajay. And she also in the beginning considers that he has committed the crime. Why should I prove wrong? Uh, it's, it's, it's like that. Now, every beginner, whoever takes up the thing, they wants to get a success. In that fashion, why should I do it wrong thing? And Nimisha has really performed well. And when she gets the feedback from her senior colleagues, senior friends, that one need not prove do any violence to the actual incident, or cook our own story, but whatever whatever manner the police has constructed the story, we have to follow through back, follow the same line, and see whether the consistency is there. And you have to present it to the in the court, and judge will decide. And that aspect, actually, the very modernity, how it created a kind of a mediocre world. People, teachers, lawyers, politicians, everyone think that they are as if they are doing a sacrifice. They performing their duties. They think it as a sacrifice. So though we have modern institutions, mentalities are locked down in in a pre-modern ideology. So the movie also starts with violence against women is punishable crime under law, and then another card says that the word is truth, truth is guru, guru is God. So I think the line the director has taken, presenting in a realistic way whatever has happened and establishing the case, and finally proving that he's an innocent. Ajay. So in that process, in the beginning, when police investigation started, Ajay provides the important clues. But when it case shifted to a crime branch, because of the pressures, popular pressure around the case, so it was moved to given it to the crime branch, and the crime branch wanted to fix it. They come with a set of mind saying that they have to find the very they want to fix beforehand. They wanted to fix the case, find the culprit by hook or nook, and they also follow a procedure. Not only the Ajay, but also other witnesses they cook. The kind of handling with various people brings into all our whatever is there in circulation. See, the hotel owner was, when he wants to defend Ajay, they try to say that we know how your father got to jail and how your hotel was burnt, because Indian in your hotel, in the Indian flag, Kashmir is missing. So this kind of what is it, bullying the innocents to complete the case. So here both the things are happening. One is pressure from the society, and this the people who are representing the institute finding shortcuts to or easy fix to settle the case. So, and unraveling that by the newly a new professional, all that reveals how a basic premise performing our duty is, as a teacher we have to teach. I'm not sacrificing anything. So that kind of rule, it establishes that one attracted me, and he presented it in a very dynamic way. And the kind of violences violence that is taking place in the society at large, and the victimization of the people, innocents. If you are a Muslim name or Dalit name, you are easy scapegoat. So the advocate also argues that 2014 judgment of Bombay High Court also reveals that it became to the investigating agencies, it became a habit and easy to if you say a Dalit or Muslim is involved in it, then it itself is a proof. Their identity as a Muslim or Dalit is a proof for their crime. So even people also, when you see the news reports or the kind of sensationalism, people believe that those who are really from poorer backgrounds are criminals. A kind of a trend, and unraveling that is done really well. And I think I thought then regarding the underlying line I felt is that the very means that we adapt or follow in our routine life, those are utilized by people in power or people in people who are with a different uh, agenda, deploy the similar modus operandi and come into power. So you will become neutralized when the same means are adapted to reach the position. So whatever we are celebrating over the years, that itself becomes our enemy. So going back to the basics and the Madhupal way of presentation of things, even though it is limited to one single case, but it reflects a wide variety of issues that involved, and the film also, though film, we were taught saying that the film is just an make believe, and sound is not actually not part of the movie. Film is for sound and film does not have any connections. All that we were taught in the some classes, but when we read also. But here comes when these kind of movies come, it also shows that I found it interesting in all these dimensions. So I'll stop here and I'll look for your ideas and see whether I can whether I'm right or wrong, or I'm in the right track or not. I'll stop here.
Thank you very much, Sridhar, for the presentation and for opening out this dimension of looking at film vis-a-vis, what has happened in a particular instance in the case of Jayesh, and the way that has been reported first in the newspaper and then turned into this film. I now request all of you to come in, respond to the film and also to Sridhar's presentation.
Can I start with?
Please go ahead, Jishnu.
Yeah. So, being a Malayalam film, I get connected more to Kuppasida Payan.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I consider it in a different way, where how one way it is how courtroom dramas has been portrayed in our films, how courts work, how it has been presented in our films. It is very superficial that the process of courts have been presented in our Indian films. It's very superficial in where the people get the lawyers are the lawyers which presented by the heroes get more chances to say their monologues and kind of very heroic dialogues kind of thing. That is one very typical kind of courtroom dramas we are used to in the commercial space. Apart from that, we have courtroom dramas like Court, directed by Chaitanya Tamhane. Kind of Male Vilasam is one of the other Malayalam movie which has a court martial process of army court being presented in movies. Male Vilasam is that kind of movie which speaks about how court martial and how caste is working in the army courts. So in that way, I find Kuppasida Payan more connected to the or being presenting more a class which is not being spoken in any of the Indian movies, which is a economically lower or less privileged in our society. So this particular case where the movie is speaking, which I have watched the movie and I have seen there is a news report by a Malayalam media which later spoke about the story of that original person who was affected by the case. So, which has been cinematically in a different way, but which opens up a dialogue upon how the system is kind of uh, victimizing a person who is less privileged, how he is being presented as a how the police narrative is being taken by the media, how police narrative is being, that is a very common thing which happens in India when we see the media reports, when we see the film things and all, how this police narrative is being taken as a legitimate source by the media, which is a very common thing in India, as a like both filmmaker as well as a journalism student or a enthusiast when we look at it. So Kuprasiddhan Payan is, in certain way, they try to overcome that police narrative of there is a meme which goes on in Malayalam media that Swandam Legagan, which is the daily which we see in media, which is the that narrative set by that journalist is the policeman sitting is in the station. So in that way, if our media is searching to the truth or fact, to the cases happening to the common people or the very less privileged people in India, that is very much addressed in that movie. But certain way I have criticism towards it also, saying which as a movie maker, as a audience, whether that movie visually is standing with the character of the what Tovino is presenting is another, whether it is standing with the character of Nimisha, which is playing the lawyer, or which is standing with the character of Tovino, is a very questionable case. Even though they are presenting the case which is less talked by the media or the film, still whether they are standing with the victim, or are they talking in the perspective of a victim, is still questionable to me. That's what I felt on watching that movie. Yeah, that's.
Thank you, Jishnu, for this very important intervention. I mean, even while a particular kind of criminalization as an issue is taken up, I too thought that the star, it seemed like, with his well-toned, gym-toned body, and the way he can, in some ways, in his own way, answer back to the investigating, the crime branch people. Also, the way he gets the mandatory girl in the end, like a hero. So I felt that there were two films in this particular film. The first part of the film, where the hero is already redeemed in some ways in our eyes before the courtroom trial begins. So the interest in the courtroom trial is on how she will overcome her own helplessness, the lawyer that is, her own lack of confidence, and establish the truth. But as audience, we already know in some ways that he is innocent. So a hero who in name is supposed to be Kuprasiddha, but I hardly found anything in the film to establish that he is Kuprasiddha. So
Yeah, same thing. I was saying, like,
yeah.
whether the film is standing with
What
the
Kuprasiddha?
victim, or whether the film is going
Vishnu?
with the lawyer. Yeah,
Yes.
tell me, sir.
What does mean by Kuprasiddha?
Kuprasida is what is it?
Infamous.
Infamous. Yeah,
Notorious, no?
yeah. So whether
I
it
thought
is
it is rough.
standing,
Rough, I thought.
no, 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 no. Whether the film is what is film following, which character is film following is that were my problem to that
No,
film comes from.
Jishnu
Whether
and Jishnu and the Nikhila, you
Yeah.
really reminded me. See, I had several things to tell about this movie, so
Yeah.
I worried that enter your night will go. So that's why I didn't go into it. I just touched upon it.
Yeah.
Regarding title, na Telugu they interestingly changed the title.
Hmm.
Vyuham, strategy. So
so this
that
thing,
uh,
when you translate it to other movies, it happens. So my crazy theory about this is on Kamal Hassan's movie Apurva Sahodarangal. When it got translated to Hindi, there was a song in it which says about the introduction of Kamal Hassan. So കാട്ടോറമേയും കുറുമ്പാട് അത പോട്ടാത്ത നമുക്ക് സാപ്പാട്, which says that like a goat which is straying, and we put it as a food, that is our food. So when it got translated to Hindi, the whole movie, when it got dubbed into Hindi, they didn't mention about goat anything, that song. So this thing happens when it translates or when it dubs movie into other languages. I don't know who takes in charge of that dubbing. Depends upon the how that politics is being translated to other languages. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Sridhar. You are commenting on the title. Yes.
I found the Vyuham is more appropriate, given the entire majority of the movie is about fixing a culprit. That too tangible culprit. They cannot defenseless. And so in such a way, the title Vyuham is more catchy than what Malayalam title is there.
ஒரு குப்ரசித்த பையன்.
So my doubt were that whether the movie is following the character of Tobino Thomas, who acted the movie, or it is following the character of the advocate, which is so if I found it that the movie is mostly following the character of advocate, then the Prasiddha Payan term doesn't matter to movie. It's following the path of a advocate who is trying to overpower his very Brahmanical senior, and who has to stand with a culprit who she thinks that is not a culprit. Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yeah, sure, Geeta. Yeah.
Jishnu, you're talking about point of view. I mean, like, why is that so important to you? Like, in case, assume that the filmmaker is trying to build his narrative from the point of view of the advocate, as you say. I think what we should try to look at is in what way then would the narrative change? Because the whole idea of looking at it from point of view would be to see how the narrative is, what needs, how the narrative is tailored to a particular need of the filmmaker if he follows one point of view. So I don't know like what exactly, why is that so important? And also in this advocate story, I think the whole subtext of patriarchy that exists in institutions, that is a very important subtext to that narrative. Because first of all, he is senior, and he makes it very clear. He keeps repeating umpteen times, during the proceedings as well, that she is my apprentice. She was my apprentice until now. What? And he uses that to belittle her and ridicule her. So, so I think that becomes an important to that as well. And I was also like you, I also was reminded of Chaitanya Tamhane's quote while watching this movie. But I mean, it's my personal opinion, but I think quote was far more sophisticated in its representation of court proceedings, and it was far more Kafkaesque than this film. And in this film, this Oru Kuprasiddha Payyan, quite early we see the murder of that woman who's Chembakammal. I think Sridhar said it is Chamundeshwari or something.
In the Telugu version.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Chamundeshwari is film version. Sundari Amma is newspaper version.
Yeah, but in the Malayalam film, she is Chembakammal.
Yes, I didn't take those names. Sorry, because I watched it in Telugu.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. So that I mean, like when you see a murder, you would think of the film as a thriller, but it's not exactly. It's not really. I mean, it doesn't really fit into that genre, because as we are watching the film, we are kind of interested in knowing how this Ajayan is going to be rescued out of this situation that he is in. Now, what was the motivation for Chembakammal's murder, and who really murdered her, and all that hardly becomes a concern for the audience. So these are just some thoughts that I wanted to share. That's all.
Yeah, thanks, Geeta. Sridhar, do you want to respond, or anyone else? Jishnu? Yeah, Sridhar, go ahead.
I agree with Geeta, madam. One thing, what audience expectation? See, we do not need to think about them. The theories around audience is also like theories about cinema. Like courtroom is taken for granted in the Nazi case as an evidence. In the when trials are happening on Nazis, the movie which is done on the lines of courtroom has been taken as evidence. But later on, if you see the black cases, cases on blacks, those movies also bring the evidences in. Many cases, people are in the prisons, imprisoned, or lying in prisons because they do not have a lawyer to take up that case.
Yeah.
If there are lawyers to the case, people who are in custody, 70-80% of the prisons will be empty because of very the minute things they were fixed. For stealing a plate, or for stealing the what is it? On roads we face now, we see to close the drainage.
Manhole cover.
Manhole cap.
Yeah.
But those kind of cases are many in the courts across India. they do not find a liar. No one is taker, no takers are there. That's why they are lying in the prison. Many. And there are political prisons whose cases never come to the court. Even if they come to the court, we know what is happening. They represent only politics, not the worth of the case. Those are there. But the idea this movie presents is, if you follow the police investigation or criminal investigation, but however they provided the evidences, if you follow the same route, you can find the concoction in it also. So the judge will take it forward. And here in the courtroom procedure, the trial also, what the advocate tries to prove that the ballot that is newly added to the number of the list of evidences, it's not true. Actually, if you see watch the beginning of the movie, actually they will be collecting that wallet also, money under the pillow, wallet from the almara, everything are there. But somehow those are some of the inconsistencies in the director part. Actually, when we see in the beginning of the movie, all those evidences that she questions advocate, actually they are collecting, except the knife. Knife is a new entry. There is no knife found, which is indulged in the murder. So the advocate also needs to have not just the law but also the criminal people who are representing criminal cases. They need to know about the backdrop of it and details about various things involved in it. So that all, see, even in the nail polish, they tries to say that multi personality. So the mind and body should be there, part of should be there, should be present in establishing a case. But here he has multiple personalities, but the culprit. So you cannot punish him, because not just body, mind is different. The other person is in him. So as long as that person comes back, you cannot punish him. So the psychoanalysis is misused over there. If you see the nail polish, but all big stars are there. I thought these, I don't know, these actors, in director also, I thought that they presented it in a better way. So you cannot bring down the hero's physique to natural one, but to establish that how people treats a single or a orphan, even it establishes that his own mother got rid of him, and he rescues people from the he buffaloes attack. All that people essentialize whatever he does. So I don't think any problem in putting this hero as a, he did his best. I think he gave his best.
Yeah, Rajan has unmuted himself. Please go ahead.
No, I'm not mute. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
Okay, Kalpalata, please go ahead.
Yeah, I had a few questions regarding the choice of characters, and as Sridhar sir had told in the beginning that in real life the lawyer is a male, is a man, not a woman, and in the film, woman is chosen for this role. So my question is, why this choice? Is this a strategy? I mean, behind this, is there any special strategy? And the second thing I wanted to express about this female character is she's very timid in the beginning, and she rises to the occasion, and I felt that this representation of female, courage itself has become a cliche, and I think that this film has used a lot of uh, elements which are used in masala films. So in the end, it is uh, it the conclusion of this film is more, I mean, it is leaning more towards the characteristics which are there in masala film, rather than pointing us to the real problem which this film is wants to represent. It is a deviation. There is a lot of deviation, I think, which I mean, it is just the main purpose was for entertainment rather than really there was any message, and the aim of that message has somehow somewhere lost in between, because we knew what is going to happen, and there are lot of things which we already know which is going to happen in this movie. So I would like to uh, I would like Sridhar sir to comment on these choice of characters.
Can I also comment on this?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my concern was same of it. The title suggests this Kuprasida Payyan, uh, which says about the man in the film, which is the who's getting in the court. But in films narrative, it some way it follows the advocate, which is the woman character. So the same thing which she said about in title, it says about the Payyan, which is the man character, which is the victim of the case. But in narrative, in some way they incorporate the character of women, which is more detailed in the script. So I also had this problem when I watched the movie, where the title suggests that it's about the character of the Tovino Thomas, which is the emerging actor in Malayalam. But in narrative, it is saying about the advocate character, which how she is managing her senior advocate, and how she's winning the case, how she's trying to get that person out of the case. So I had the same problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sridhar, okay, Tarak, Sridhar, you want to come in now to respond to Kalpalata and Jishnu,
Tara-
or
Let
okay,
Tara also speak.
okay, fine. Tarakeshwar, please go ahead.
Yeah, yes, everyone is pointing out, yes, uh, the film is not a single narrative. The two narratives are woven together. As Nikhila was saying, it almost like two films. The first part is focusing on Tovin Thomas, and the second part on the young advocate. So but it is not a thriller. It is not a whodunit genre at all, because everything is given out. How the police are framing him also we know, and how she is collecting the data or evidence to that is also shown. So in that sense, there is no secrecy about holding back from the audience certain information, so that build up the curiosity and present everything at the end and tie up the ends. It is not that kind of story at all. So it looks like slightly diffused. So by the time we know that it is going to be rescued, it is only the question of how is going to be rescued.
Yeah.
But more than that, in the second part, as Jishnu was trying to point out, it's more about how she is going to overcome her timidity, whether she will be able to gather herself and argue in the court, that is actually the moot point of the second part. So whether she'll do it or not, what she has to do it, we already know. And what should happen to the Tobin Thomas, we already know. Whether she will be able to do it and how she is going to able to do it, that becomes the curiosity for the audience, the way the narrative moves. So when she wins the case, actually the movie is over. But because there is another part, you need to wait for that fellow to come out and meet that girl who supported him during the crisis, and then there is a happy ending, and then the song with which so in that sense the ending is very diffused, but it may not be in that in that sense a neat a tight narrative which holds the audience together. But leave it apart that yes, it is not a good woven story in that sense where there's one thread that is running along and all other things rotate around that axis. So there are multiple axes or two axes in the film. Accepting that, and as even Kalpalata said, it might also border to the mainstream masala movie. It is also because Tobin, as Jishnu was saying, is an upcoming star. I also saw many groups like Tobin Thomas fans who were discussing this movie. So in that sense, there is a catering to the star as a factor. But interestingly, even if you give that concession, that yes, because there is a star, the story has to move on even after she wins it, and it almost borders on the mainstream movie, which Kalpata called Masala movie. The point still is presented as somebody without any agency from the beginning to the end. So the circumstances take him the way, push him in different directions. Even the rescue happens not because of his agency. The court alerts somebody for some other reason, but she decides to take it up seriously. Everything falls in. It is a context which rescues him. So there is no agency that is attached to the protagonist as such. So even if you think that it is a Tobin Thomas movie and there is a masala angle to it, the narrative denies any kind of agency to him at any point of time. Only if he had done the murder, then there would have been some kind of agency and a strong character for that strong character. Otherwise, he looks like a Pavam. So in that sense, he is projected as a Pavam character who others have to enlist their sympathy towards him. And in that process, it also raises the issues that Sridhar pointed out in the beginning and even others have pointed out. So one way of looking at this film would be to look at it as a court genre, if that is the kind of court scene presentation. But that is also not the moot point. We all note the evidences beforehand, and we know that the evidences are fabricated too. So there is the problem is only with that agency. To that extent, it appeared to me in the beginning that it is more like Visharani, the Tamil film, where innocent people are caught and brutalized by the police to the extent of encountering them. And they don't know why they are picked up and what happens to them. That is a tight narrative because there's no other parallel or subtext coming in at all. Here there are a lot of subtext which make it kind of loose weaving of the threads. But that apart, but the issues that are raised are anyway come to the notice of the audience too. So and the expectations of the audience, independent of the film, that is one thing that we need to look at. And then the expectations of the audience that is shaped by the narrative. So there are two things. So when you look at the audience, both we need to look at what the actual audience do. We don't know what they're expecting. The Tobin Thomas fans might be expecting something, and then this lady advocate, she might have her own fans, not only in Kerala now, even in other places. They might be expecting certain things. So managing both and also trying to give it a kind of larger, uh, addressing the larger mainstream audience too. All these three things might be happening. So whom they are addressing might have a bearing on the way the narrative is woven. So it may not meet the expectations of some of us who expect a kind of tight, solid narrative from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. Though the hero has no agency for the most part, in the prison sequence, we get to see him do all kinds of his usual heroic antics, as a result of which he earns the respect of both other prisoners, fellow prisoners, as well as the police. So, as you said, this film is in some ways catering to Tovino fans, even as it seems to have, like other similar films, for instance, Pink, where again the focus is on the lawyer, on the advocate, Amitabh Bachchan's character there, having to overcome his limitations or his come out of his retirement. So some of these films also seem to focus more on the advocate and what their personal shortcomings or limitations are before they win the case. So the challenge is as much for the advocate as it is for the victim in some of these films. I would think. Uh, yeah. Please.
I think this denial of agency to this character of Ajayan also represents the sheer helplessness of an ordinary citizen in the face of the power, the sheer power of status agencies like the police and the judiciary. So, and the basic theme, I think, of this film is the miscarriage of justice. And generally, films that have miscarriage of justice as its major theme, these films are also strong indictments of the judicial system. And so the denial of agency to this character only, kind of further enhances his, and by extension, a citizen's helplessness in the face of the power of these agencies.
Yeah, that's right. Anyone else would like to come in here? Though the judicial system does not fail him, at
Hello,
least in this instance. Yes. Please go ahead.
hello, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ma'am, actually, if you could watch this movie Dandapalyam,
Dandupalyam.
so there are two or three movies sequels actually. For Dandapalyam, in that movie, some point of view, the you know victim's point of view he has portrayed in that movie, and another point is like from the perspective of police investigation. So generally the audience get confused, okay, while watching the who is who, okay, and the reporter who exposed about this case. So that is the story of the Dandapalam. So the all movies go, some movies they try to go because there are two kind of categories of secrets. One, the audience know what is going to happen with is happening with the character. The other one is audience, they don't know, but the character knows what is going to happening with him or her. So that kind of strategy might have used in this movie also. Yeah.
Yeah. Any response? Sridhar, yes, go ahead.
See, I have shared a link to inform where the original story is narrated. A Jayesh story. So I don't see the filmic liberty is obvious. Depending on as you cannot have a documentary kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is not intended to produce a documentary, but in a more a commercial kind of movie also, he brought things in such a nice way, and the character selection. Uh, uh, the See, if you see Nimisha in the beginning, she was timid to take up that case. Why you obvious thing? Why to argue an obvious thing? Because he has committed the crime. She believes in it. But when unveiling of evidence makes her stronger, when she has no evidence, no information, she was timid. But the more and more the evidence she acquired, she became stronger. So in that way, she's also a probation, on probation, and her first case. So she does really well, well executed, well presented. So I don't find any wrong. I can't see anything wrong in changing the agency of the actor. In real life, it is someone. So we can that kind of liberty can be taken, but it did not violate the entire episode, whatever happened, because the interview that informs the victim who is released from this entire trauma, he actually owns everything except saying that the liar is not female, it is male. And another is the girlfriend who is this crashing is that she actually left him. Except those two things, everything is as it happened. So it was part of his life. So he also owns it, the real life character.
Yeah.
So one need not be that one can take liberty there also, because when you see a diffusion of diffused ending or the multiple points of view entering, it also makes that to make it relevant to the various other contexts, not just to this context. What is general rule generally happening and this particular case. So in that way, director has done a good attempt compared to many other commercial or documentaries. I liked it, the way director has presented. It is director and the script writer. Both, they really mesmerized me in that way. Somehow I lost in it.
No, I think we all have enjoyed the film, and I don't think any of us are demanding any kind of verisimilitude or that the film should follow the real life character. That is, it should bring things as it happened with Jayesh. Not that. We're just discussing the implications of, what I saw as, for instance, two films. Each one pulling the narrative in different directions. It can happen. There is no issue that it is happening as such. But for me, for instance, the Nimisha part of the narrative was certainly something very interesting. And as Geeta was also saying, the condescension with which the senior treats his junior lawyer, putting her in her place, the workings of patriarchy within the institution of the court and things like that were very interesting. Though, so the film is juxtaposing on the one hand this kind of obnoxious patriarchy with another kind of paternalistic dependence with that Kannada speaking person whom she relies. I mean, bad Kannada speaking person on whom the lawyer relies when she's not able to connect to his phone. She gets all kinds of illness and so on. So the film also seems to be balancing bad patriarchy with good paternalism. So that was also quite interesting, I thought. Anyone else?
Yeah. Hello.
Please go ahead, Sanjay Kumar.
Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I don't know about the original title, but which is presented in English, that is A Notorious Boy, which I find obviously ironic because this is a person who is very innocent and who has been victimized by the police. So that is the title is ironic. Other than that, the epigraph also, which says word is truth, truth is guru, and guru is God. That also I find ironic because word, first of all, if you see the narrative presented by the police, by the crime branch, is raised, like on all lies. And these are the words because they are coming from power. They have ability to convince people, and also the media, and there is a kind of propagation and trying to present the victim as the criminal. And so one thing is interesting when this Bharat Teta that you talked about, this character whom she's going to meet quite often and trying to get his support. He is also he is trying to help her out, just as the judge. The judge, Jayadevan, also has a positive role in it because he wants really to help this boy by assigning this job to someone who is, if not very experienced, at least very sincere, because he has seen her coming to the court always at time and attending all the cases. So he thinks probably it's an opportunity for her to prove herself. So in other words, if you see why I talked about this character Bharat Teta, he's talking about a narrative that, look, you have to present your case. There is a story. There is a story which is presented by the police. Now you have to present another story which can fight that narrative. So with the narrative of the crime branch, you have to present a counter narrative. So this is the idea which is convincing for the legal counsel, who is named as Hana in this version, which I saw, probably Malayalam version, I think.
Yes.
Yes, and so in a sense, the truth doesn't have its own inherent strength. It cannot get it established on its own inherent strength. It has to be supported by a network. So you have the judge, you have this Bharat Teta, the character who is supporting, then obviously the legal counsel. So at several levels, there are people who are trying to construct a counter narrative. Otherwise, truth will not get it established. Like normally we say Satyamev Jayate or whatever, truth will get it established, but that doesn't happen in real life because it has to be supported by a network. And that is shown in this film. then the truth is Guru and Guru is God. Obviously, Guru is not God here. He's supposed to be a demonic character who is like always trying to demoralize our legal counsel in the court and saying that she has worked under him, and later on he is also trying to say that he did it on purpose so that she will get confidence, and which she completely rejects finally, that because she finds him as a counter example, that what you have done nobody should do, that you have taught me a lesson, but in a sense not to follow you as a role model, but something which one should not do. That reminded me of an essay of Montaigne, where Montaigne talks about a musician who sends his disciple to another musician, and he says that, go and listen to his music. Then the disciple comes back and says, but he is a very bad musician. Why did you send me? But says, yes, that is what I want to do. That is the counter example. So what you should not do. So whatever he is trying to prove himself as, that he is the one who has made her, that is rejected. So and another point is about so the whole thing I find ironic, starting from the title that the word is truth and truth is Guru and Guru is God. Then coming to this part where the DSP Simon George is trying to blackmail. Actually, he blackmails the hotel owner by talking about an old case. And in that case, actually, he was liberated. His father was liberated, and it was just a thing like there was a map where Kashmir is missing. But DSP reminds him, and there is a sentence. He says, "You know how things are now. How things are now. This is 2016. This lady is killed in 2015. I think it is June. Yes, 18th June 2015. That is the date which is written on her feet, on the dead body." And so he says that, how things are now. So if you are a Muslim, if you are a Dalit, then you can easily be proved as a criminal or as somebody who is trying to destroy the social fabric of the society, or the peace in the society. So it is easy to victimize. And the lawyer, also the legal counsel, she talks about judgment in Mumbai High Court in 2014. So which has, in which judge said that, why is it that it is mostly Muslims and Dalits who are victimized in such cases, and in the custody, these are the people who are normally killed, and nothing happens. So he's trying to blackmail this, and which shows the current trends of lynching, that if you just spread a rumor that somebody it happened recently, we have seen just because of the name of some restaurant, Karachi Bakery or something, and people said that it is from Pakistan and Karachi, and they started destroying. So these things have happened, like so many cases of lynching just based on rumors, and there is an attempt to victimize people who are on the margin of the society. So this is also presented in this film. And in one place they say that, everything is today decided by WhatsApp. So whatever, maybe, there are people who are demanding justice, but ultimately that leads to injustice, actually, because finally the crime branch is not catching a criminal, but it is showing its own crime. So that is the crime of the crime branch, which we see here in the film. But the same thing, the Facebook, we have seen that this legal counsel, she gets a proof in one of the photographs which was posted by the character Uma, who was loved by our Ajayan. So this is used as an evidence, means she's also using something which is available on Facebook to produce a counter narrative. So in a sense, it is like, the lawyer has always been using rhetoric that she doesn't know chemistry, she is just a junior, she doesn't know how to argue her case, and in every way he's trying to demoralize. So these are all the rhetorics, okay? And on the other hand, we have the truth which is represented by our legal counsel, Hannah. So I see it as a case of rhetoric versus truth. Somebody who is good in the art of speaking, trying to influence people, trying to convince people. And on the other hand, somebody who is trying to, of course, she's trying to construct a counter narrative, but she is doing it with facts. As Bharat Teta character has said, that you have to present a counter narrative, but with facts. You are not lying, okay? But you are building up a story. So it is at a political level that to fight a heap of lies, which are presented as a narrative, which is being convincing to the people, you have to produce a counter narrative, but counter narrative not just full of rhetoric, but based on facts. Because facts, they do not speak for themselves. There are so many facts, but they do not simply lead on their own to the truth. You have to organize them, you have to reorganize them, and that is what she is doing in this film. And other than that, I found that three branches of the government, legislative and executive, they are presented, but the executive and judiciary, they are presented. Executive mainly that going on the wrong path, and the judiciary in a sense is trying to establish the truth, but legislative somehow is missing, in the sense that there are phone calls saying that, okay, you have to close this case as early as possible, but there is no like politician directly intervening in this case, and at least that is not shown in this film. So I don't know, but there is this kind of absence in this film. Other than what I liked, particularly at the artistic level, is the camera handling, where this Ajayan is being questioned in the police station, and the camera moves away from him, and then we go out of the room, and then we find different people sitting, and that I found, I don't know what is called dolly kind of movement of camera. So you go away from the scene, and at the last scene also, where is these two characters, Hannah and the girl Jalaja, they are shown together, and then again camera moves away from them. That's a beautiful scene towards the end. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sanjay Kumar, for bringing in so many nuances, the ironic aspect, both in the title and the preface to the film, and then talking about the various elements that have not so far come up in the discussion. Sridhar, would you like to respond to Sanjay? Do you agree mostly with what he has
couple
to
of
say?
things. No, he has said very nicely. I agree with him completely. So, see, once you prove that the culprit is Muslim or Dalit, you don't need to establish the case further. It is a self-evidence. That is the mood of the system. Once you establish it is a Muslim or a Dalit, so they are criminal by nature. That is the societal mindset, systemic mindset. So that they are puncturing. by recreating the case, by following the same police path. The advocate is pointing out inconsistencies in their narration. Wherever there is no proper evidence, they cook the story to point at the weak culprit, so-called weak. He is single, no defense. He is also no reputation in the society, and see, in the real life, he lost his job. He lost his job, but in the film, they show taking back everything, happy ending, all that. But they took liberty. In the film, they took liberty, but the director wants to diffuse things. From from this story, he wants to reflect on actually our tendential behavior. So once you follow the same path that the investigative agency followed, it will actually unveil the truth of it. What went wrong? What inconsistencies are there? And the judge will take his own discretion. So there are many things in practice, but one way to put things, give hope to kind of things happening, this has a good message. So I felt like that.
Anyone else would like to come in at this
And
point?
title, Telugu title more appropriate, I felt. Vyuham, strategy. Strategy by the advocate, strategy by the judge, strategy by the investigative agencies. So various strategies are there. So I found that title more fitting.
Okay, Paniraj sir, you have unmuted. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I couldn't hear Sridhar's presentation. From what point of view he presented this film, because I came late because of some other human rights problems, and that's not the issue. And what I wanted to immediately after finishing watching the film, I had not seen it, and thanks to Sridhar, I could see it. What attracted me is a larger picture of how these complexities have been shown in Indian films. Forget about any other films like human rights issue. This kind of human rights issue is a very complex issue where a connivance of whole society is involved, and of course, as Gita said, it's a Kafkaesque kind of thing. Take communal rights, and the justice delivered in communal rights is almost near to zero. Justice delivered in Dalit atrocities cases nearly 0.1%. So in such circumstances in India, there are various and against women. Okay, so there is a whole narrative. Factual evidences about the crimes being committed and all three wings of the state being involved in connivance with the perpetrators. So this is a very complex narrative whom you point at. But as a genre of films, you can see a various shades of it. Like Hansal Mehta did it. So he did it in Shahid, right? But when he came to Umrata, what happened? I mean, when he made Umrata, he almost became a puppet of the state. He made Shahid, of course, a very biographical narrative. He made Aligarh, a very biographical narrative, where he is sympathetic to the victims. But when he came to Umrata, it was entirely state's view. And there is a very popular films like Pink, Badla, where you show the heroics and melodramatics and thriller, courtroom drama. And you have seen a very pale film in Kannada, Law, which was released during pandemic and OTT. That how do you narrate it in popular narratives about a lawyer, again, a novice lawyer against a very, what do you call, a seasoned criminal lawyer. How do you defend a case and get it justice done in Law, which is very again. But in this kind of cases, I was interested in the experiment which the director has made, which Malayalam movies are again and again making. So it could have been, as Sridhar pointed out, it could have been a documentary. Okay, it could have been made it as a documentary, or you would on the other end, on the other extreme, you would have made it as a courtroom thriller, right? And you would have scripted it in such a way that it becomes either a documentary or a docu-fiction, or you could have made it as a highly courtroom thriller. But it tries to do something both. Yeah, it may not be convincing, right? Putting up the mainstream characters and mainstream popular actors in the role, and some overact. I mean, even Tobino has overacted there, and Venu has overacted. I mean, they are glaring, but the kind of experimentation what is they are doing to put a narrative, a very complex narrative, in cinematics, which is neither a documentary, a realist documentary, nor a popular kind of film, what we are including Hansal Mehta's kind of popular narrative, what we are doing. Can we find a way in between, which is a docu-fiction? Okay. So it may not be a convincing experiment, but it's experiment otherwise. Of course, I mean, I appreciate this film for its experimentation purpose, whether you defend cinematically, and of course, as Sanjay did, there are some elements of mise-en-scene which you can observe on camera work, you can observe. And of course, film is always on the victim's point of view, which I cannot deny. It's also always on the victim points of view, showing victims' traumas. I mean, where to find the truth. But the point is, it's an experiment. In Indian filmmaking, popular filmmaking genre, it's an experiment, which is a welcome, because you cannot, this is an issue which society has to deal with. Okay, whether the class and the power structure where you are placed, you may just say brush it off. But as a film student, I feel it's a very interesting experiment, because we got to find some way that this kind of narratives has to appeal to the people. It should reach the common masses. So it should have certain popular elements in it. And it should not be melodramatic like Badla or Pink or something like that. Or you cannot reach to the stage of Omerta, where you can start talking on state's point of view. So you've got to find some, say, a cinematic form which is in between documentary and a docu-fiction, which is near to the truth, soft to the victims, moving towards victims, knowing already the case, but invent a form in between where it can reach the mass. Of course, this particular film, as I went through its popularity, it has a mixed popularity. It didn't do well at the box office, nor critics did appreciate it. But that's where we want films to be made. If you can see Kannada films of the old Kannada films, you would have, Nikhila might have remembered Rajkumar's Vidugate, a very popular film, where it was a true story. It was a true story that a hero being victimized for a murder which he has not committed, and finally, before the evidence occurs, he is hanged, and then after very popular upsurge against it, they change the end of the movie so that he's released. I mean, this kind of things are going on in popular narratives, right? So I find this experimentation very important, like where to put your narrative, so that it's a very complex issue. I cannot say that only film can do justice about it, right? But it should bring this matter to the people. Tamil film Visarana is entirely different. As I'll agree with Tarkeshwar, the way it treats is very different. But this is a very kind of an experiment which Malayalam movies are doing a lot of times, and it's a very good experiment to bring this kind of issues in a kind of a language which is between. I don't call it as a bridge. It is more concerned about the issue, but to find a cinematic language. the thing, we can see that a film director is struggling there, script maker is struggling there, but they are very conscious that you don't make it melodramatic. You don't make it hyper drama, courtroom drama. But at the same way, they don't want to make it as a documentary. They want to involve certain romance, certain humanism. Yeah, there's a cozy humanism, a kind of false, what do you call, optimism. But that's what appeals to the common audience. Somewhere you should touch someone. So it's a part. I like the way it experimented with the theme.
Thank you, Paniraj sir. Sridhar, do you want?
No, I agree
Yeah.
with sir. I agree with sir.
Yeah.
Actually, this will have, unlike the documentary, this kind of presentation will have more reach. Whether it get accepted by critics or audience or not, but it will reach. So that familiarizing with kind of details is good, a good thing, and said experimental movie. Maybe that is an appropriate one. So I like I like it.
And again, there are ways to do it. Of course, you know Prasanna Vittanage, who is doing a very anti-establishment filmmaker from Sri Lanka. Prasanna Vittanage. Prasanna Vittanage is a kind of he's also a very popular filmmaker there, and because of the industry there, his film also clicks at the box office. But when he wanted to make a film questioning the whole justice system in Sri Lanka, he made a docu-fiction. I don't remember its name because it's a very complex Sri Lankan name. He made a docu-fiction. It's a docu-fiction. He took a real case where a judge using his cases to victimize women of the one who is persecuted, enjoying the promiscuity of the women who are of the victims who have been prosecuted. And that case was open shut case. People, human rights activists fought for it, but finally, the Sri Lankan judicial system stood together in camaraderie and did injustice to all the victims and all the women who were persecuted, and the victims who are persecuted, and the women who have been violated. So he said that it's a death knell on Sri Lankan judiciary system, and here onwards, no common people can believe in. He is bold to say that, but he made a docu-fiction, which he didn't expect the people to celebrate it. People come to theater and celebrate it. His point of making that movie was to make a particular political statement to the Sri Lankan state, and he did it, right? And interestingly, that film clicked. That film clicked, and most people, when it was put into censor, and out of his 3 films again and again questioned in censor, that was one film which was put in censor, but he somehow fought with the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, and what it had, when he showed it to the audience, they did respond to it. So there are various kinds of way you negotiate with your audience with various experimentation. That's what I like. Yeah, I'm done, Nikhila.
Okay. Thank you, Paniraj sir. Any other responses? Anyone else would like to?
One more thing I want to add. I don't want it to buy problem in the beginning. So now we're reaching end. So I'll put that in there.
Yeah.
The Tamil one has come. 4 directors of Netflix web series one. What is Sin Stories? What is the Tamil version is Pavai Kadagal. Or you see other set of movies which are coming on honor killings, especially, and recently in Telugu also one came called Murder. it's Miryalaguda incident where a Dalit boy married one upper caste woman, girl, and and the boy was killed later uh, when after a year in a public eye. So why he was killed in a public eye in daylight? That this murder movie, a recent one, tries to project the anguish from the father side, father who how preciously took care of his daughter, all her wishes he satisfied. He lived for her sake only, but because of her, his own character is when it is assassinated, character is assassinated. He tries to prove a point that that boy is not dependable. That is not the real identity, fake identity. You come back. So for that, he ready to kill kill her partner, go to court, even to later committed. He died also, committed suicide or something. So it tries to show, and there are many angles people are trying to project it about honor killings. See, all these detailings are looking like justifications of various sides, various kinds. The virginity of women is some unbreakable purity. All that until and unless you undo it, virginity is like just an accident. Unless and until we prove it, we cannot protect any women on the street or at home. One has to disprove. One has to develop such a theory. Not the number of violences, kinds of violence is also increasing. It is not stopping. The kind of the Sheelam is very important for a woman, as if it is not important for men, male. So that one has to deconstruct. Then I think it may diffuse that a kind of concentration of violence on women. All kind of debates also doesn't touch upon it. They talk about patriarchy and everything else, but they are only the justifying case by providing more and more details. Even these movies, I know, Papa Kadagal, I feel that okay, the typical characters they are showing, but they are also bringing this element, idealizing the women's character.
Yeah, we'll have another round of discussion, Sridhar, on Pavakadegal and other films that you.
I didn't wanted to fall in the trap, so I just did not reveal it, because in this also the woman who was murdered actually is part of that. She is about to meet her 30 years ago love, and they killed both.
Yeah.
So it won't stop.
Yeah.
Honor, it won't stop. And how many years it go?
We in Canada had a very big debate on Pavakadegal. Vetrimaran fans against film fans. I mean, like Vetrimaran's episode in Pavakadegal. Vetrimaran fans were very enthused, and they said that whoever says that that portrayal of that whole episode is problematic were branded as castes. And I'm like that, because if you are of that caste, you are no. Vetrimaran could have done it well than showing fathers. I mean, cinematically he doesn't show fathers. I mean, what forces father to take that cold-blooded action? And the whole narrative doesn't bring the complexity of what he's supposed to bring. Like, unlike Visarnai, this film is a kind of a failure where the cinematics doesn't bring it. So that angered Vetrimaran fans. I mean, Vetrimaran through Visarnai, Vetrimaran is a voice of something, and he wants to tell the caste atrocities and all that. So that is where I am seeing that's where the whole debate is.
Madhupal is clever enough. He diffused it and left it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, and that Hyderabad instance Sridhar is talking is about, yeah, that murder issue, that girl's father murdering that guy and then he hanging himself. That yeah, that issue that Ram Gopal Verma wanted to make a film on it and it became a controversy. I mean, he gave some kind of some.
Sir, murder is his production only.
No, murder has been made into a film. I'm not.
Yes, yes, it is on Amazon.
Okay, murder. Okay.
Ram Gopal Verma production only.
Oh, that's production. I got to see because Ram Gopal Verma said that he will be doing a film.
No, it doesn't released in theaters and now on the Amazon it is available.
Okay. I want to see that because I mean, like that's what I'm saying. And these complex social issues.
He tried to project from father agony.
Yeah, that's a father's agony. And even in Vetrimaran's case, it's oscillating between father's agony and his case of defending the true love. And cinematics of it. I mean, as a film enthusiast, we are discussing cinematics of it. Does Vetrimaran, where the Vetrimaran shots lies with? Does it gravitate towards father's agony or father's pride, or it gravitates towards sympathetic to that girl's love? So when that was going on, I mean, that discussion when this was going on, it was between Vetrimaran fans and others. I mean, this kind of things can happen with Indian films, Indian popular films, Indian popular genres, and when you bring a social issues with it, so it should generate that kind of emotions also. I mean, it generates a lot of emotion. That's where I find this kind of narrative experimentation is important. You've got to experiment it. Whether succeed or fail, that's not an issue. When formalist experiments, we succeed or fail, we be sympathetic with the experiment. This kind of experimentation, because this is very complex issues where you got to bring it more and more to the near to the people who doesn't know this truth. I mean, this may be the case, maybe English language readers or someone who is educated can know about it, but common people may look at it with a common sense, even if they know it with a popular media. That is the case. Of course, in Hyderabad murder case, you know how popular media played it.
Yes.
Fully patriarchal towards father.
Yeah.
So that's kind of issues where you bring it near to the audience, a kind of a view which is a kind of a radical view, but reaching the audience. That's the issue which always the popular people.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else would like to say? Yeah, Sanjay Kumar.
Yes. Yes. I wanted to say that the police is not presented here as a very in a monolithic way as a villain. That there is a division between the local police and the crime branch. The local police is presented as dumb, but the crime branch is presented as not only dumb, but also vicious. So there are certain examples. If you see the woman who is sweeping the floor of this lady, she is a neighbor. You know? Nobody bothers to use her as witness or to take her statement. The crime branch is rather falling on this alcohol addict who can be very convenient to them, and they are noting down their statements to fabricate all those lies. But even if you see there are certain things like Ajayan himself says that she was feeling worried, and he also narrates. We see that she has been showing a photograph in which everybody was killed in her family. Her mother was killed. And she says that in this photograph, nobody is alive. Okay, she is the only one who is alive. And it is also clear that it was a case of marriage. She was trying to get married to a man who was outside of her caste. So it's clearly a case of patriarchal killing. But the crime branch is not interested in that, because they are in a hurry to solve this case, to close this case. But at the same time, local police also, they are a bit intellectually lazy. They are not doing their job. But at least what happens that when the lawyer, the legal counsel, Hana, she argues in favor of the victim boy, Ajayan, then this policeman, he comes and he congratulates her. He says that everybody doesn't have opportunity to tread the path of God, and you have done that. So in a way, he is supporting her. So there is also dynamics between the local police versus the crime branch.
Hierarchy.
Yes, that's true.
See, in my initial remarks, I said, see, the very popular pressure also allowing the institutions to behave in such a pattern. So they are taking it an excuse. So even in Hyderabad, when some people are allegedly attributed that the rapists of a single girl, and they were encountered by they were killed by police. After catching them, they killed them and said that they are encountered, and the entire public jubilated it, celebrated it. So this kind of sensationalism also, and popular pressure is also wrong, in a wrong direction. But institutions should not fall in that trap. They should take their own route. That is incited by this move. They should take their own path, not succumb to the pressures of the street or anything else, upper bosses or anything. So through this advocate, the accused is saved, protected through a meaningful investigation.
Yeah.
In that way, it's a nice attempt. So Vanida said, no, experiment, it's nice one. And he diffused because he also doesn't want to take it to honor killing or something the patricide or all caste trials. He also doesn't want to go that. That may deviate the whole cinematic presentation or all that. So, because the entire investigation is wrong side.
Yeah.
Everyone is in wrong side.
Yeah.
So that's what it's a beautiful thing.
Anyone else? Yeah, anyone who has not spoken so far?
And Nikhila, if you want to name this, you can name it as populist minimalism. This film, this kind of experimentation, you can call it as populist minimalism. It struggles to be minimal, near to the truth, but it includes the this is a populist minimalism. I mean, if you want to term to it,
Yeah, that's true. Anyone else? Okay, if no one else wants to share their views on the film, I think it's been a rich and very interesting discussion, both on the kind of language that cinema adopts in order to reach people, especially when it's dealing with very important issues. The idiom in which these issues have to be presented before the people, as well as, as Sridhar was pointing out, the process itself of creating the Vyuham, which comes across very interestingly in the film. Sridhar, thank you very much once again for suggesting this film to all of us, and also for carrying out this very interesting discussion, which drew so many dimensions to the film and to issues beyond the film as well. Thank you everyone for participating
Thank you.
in this rich
Thank you,
discussion, and
Thank
good
you.
night. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, including Sridhar. Good night.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Good night.